Good morning, everyone, and thank you very much for joining me today at our session of information for our MSc in Entrepreneurship, Innovation and Enterprise Development at the University of Westminster. Please let me introduce myself, Luca Cacciolatti, introduce my colleague, Anne Rosley.
Hi there.
And our entrepreneur, Brandon.
Hello.
So let's start with a quick overview of this webinar. So this is part of the session outline. The directors for the program is Anne Rosley.
Yeah, so this program is quite unique because, it's actually being run by two of us, and the whole team of us is quite interesting, in which we will actually explain to you who are our team, and then you will see why, it's very unique and you're going to have so much fun with us. Right? So I'm focusing, my area of research is more on entrepreneurship and strategy. I'm looking into co-creation and innovation, while Luca is more on entrepreneur marketing, and also you are an associate professor in Tsinghua University.
University of Science and Technology, China.
Yeah, so Brandon, do you want to just quickly explain who you are?
Yeah, so I'm just about to go into my second year of BA Entrepreneurship. So I've had a year doing the entrepreneurship program, and yeah, so we've been very busy doing a lot of stuff and a lot of projects, and as you'll find out through the webinar, it's really, really good, sort of creative, very different course to normal ones.
It is very different. Because of that, we invited Brandon here so that you will understand, the journey of the entrepreneur journey that you will go through for our MSc program.
Yes, so what are we going to do today? Today we are going to get to know a bit better Westminster Business School. Then we have an overview on our innovative MSc program. And then we will tell you, if you're interested in the program, how to enroll. And we will have a small Q&A session in order to answer your questions. So let's start saying something about the University of Westminster. It has been around for the past 180 years, and we're leading in pioneering teaching and providing education in London. And we started really in 1838, so imagine how long our university has been around for. And I have a question for Brandon. Yeah. I'm wondering, do you know who's the patron of the university?
Yes, I do, and the patron of the university is actually Queen Elizabeth II.
Indeed.
So quite a big patron.
It is.
Indeed. Okay, so what can we say about Westminster Business School? Now, we got a lot of facilities here, very, very interesting facilities. We have a social learning platform and a very active students' union. In fact, something that a lot of students coming from different countries are not aware of is that in the UK, whenever you enroll at the university, you're automatically becoming a member of the students' union, which is a really, really a big organization in the UK.
I think maybe you should actually let him explain,
Indeed,
his experience about the university.
Because he uses the facilities on a daily basis.
There's a quiz that, we're testing you whether you know about the university or not.
But no, so as Luca was saying, the university, from my perspective, is really sort of rich with sort of different facilities and different opportunities that you can do. So as we sort of mentioned with the student union, we also have other organisations like societies and lots of different sort of student body groups in the university. One of them, especially for entrepreneurship, is the Entrepreneurial Society. So I'm part of that, and it's a really sort of big society and group of students where we basically explore different sort of hands-on things to do with entrepreneurship. So when you sort of join the entrepreneurship degree, or if you're part of the entrepreneurship degree, you get sort of access to a lot of what's the word? A lot of very easy to access stuff. So it's not all just sort of taught to you. You've got other organisations outside where you can just talk with students, and it's very, very sort of comfortable.
Yeah, because the extra events and networking opportunities and different activities are really going on pretty much all the time.
Oh, definitely, yeah. since I've started, I've networked with so many people, and there's been so many sort of events where I've gone to and been part of that have really sort of helped me sort of gain connections and really sort of build my knowledge, really. So, no, it's very good.
That sounds really interesting.
Yeah. So how many people, I mean, from different countries that you know in this university?
Oh gosh, specific number, I have no idea, but there's so many different hundreds and hundreds.
This is in fact one of the beauties of our university, is that there's a lot of diversity. It's a truly international university.
Not only that, I think it's a diversity and also inclusivity.
Yes, it's inclusive as well. Yes. In fact, it's interesting because we represent in this university more than 100 nationalities, you know. But it's true that there's a good balance in a way, because for each nationality we haven't got more than 5% of each nationality.
True. Yes,
so there's a good balance and there's a good mix of different nationalities.
Yeah, that's correct.
And each of sports and clubs and societies and so on. So why we are so international, and why we're so tuned into business? Because fundamentally our campus is London. You know, the whole London is our campus, and this provides us really a really supportive and creative environment where entrepreneurs, or entrepreneurs to be, can be challenged.
Yes. And that's why we're so excited with this new MSc program, because London is our campus. You will not spend most of your time in the classroom.
Definitely.
Because how many percentage of your time spent in your classroom? Well, if we define our classroom, it's this
tiny room.
Probably about 70% of the time, 80% possibly, are always sort of outside talking to people, going around London, because as we said before, London is just so diverse and full of so many opportunities. So no, definitely helps.
So maybe you want to explain. Remember, on your first week of coming to Westminster, where did we go?
Oh gosh, well, literally 2 days into the course, like the course hadn't even started. We were on our orientation. We were doing sort of business challenges. So we went to Google Campus was one of them. So we held an event in Google Campus. We were given 24 hours to sort of organise that.
Yes, you organise an event. It's not we doing it. You are the one who organised it.
It was all us doing that. So it was quite terrifying, but really good. We've done another business challenge the day after, where we went to a place called Match Challenge, where we sort of spoke to real startups. That was a good thing about it. It was actually real life startups. We weren't doing any concept. There were real people asking us to solve a problem, and we were again given 24 hours, so quite terrifying on our fourth day of uni, but looking back, it's really sort of helped us understand the way entrepreneurs work, because it really isn't sort of easy. It's very difficult and very sort of stressful sometimes.
And in fact, most entrepreneurs, they have to deal with uncertainty and with unpredictable events. So being there, and being trained to react in a certain way to unpredictable situations, or we really push students a bit out of their comfort zone. Okay, we don't push them in the panic zone. So within a safe environment, but we really push people out of the comfort zone.
Yes, but I think the most important thing is we provide a safe environment for you to learn, for you to experience failure and learn from it, and that's why we want to expose you to all of this real situation rather than a simulation. So we are not following simulation, we are giving you a real life experience so that you can experience failure in a safe environment. Then you can bounce back and learn much more faster than other way of learning.
Definitely.
Yeah. So moving next.
Can I ask you for something?
Yes.
Because I'm really curious, because we carry on saying, to our audience, there are a lot of interesting activities and we learn in a different way. How different is the way we learn? Can you give us some examples?
Well, how different? It's definitely it's not a lecture based, so you will definitely not be sitting and listening. If you're thinking of coming to join us by just bringing your book and then just listening to what we are saying.
Oh no,
that's not what
that's definitely not for you. If you want to sit with an open book, don't come here.
No, don't come here. So what it is actually you are the one who's doing stuff, and what we do is we are a coach. So we have experts in entrepreneurship, innovation. we are here to coach you, to guide you to go through some experiences where then you make some sort of decision and learn together in a team, and that is the most important thing. You learn together in a team, and this team learning journey that expedite your learning. So we will actually look into in much more detail how we actually learn. So I do not want to tell too much, but definitely there will be so much adventure, there will be so much fun, and there will be so much learning.
Yeah, for instance,
and lack of sleep maybe.
Yeah, for instance, we engage also with accelerators because we have a big network of accelerators.
And the mass challenge on the first week that Brandon did last year, the whole group went to mass challenge as an accelerator in London, where they met up with startups and they're trying to solve their problems. So just to give you one example of where last year's event that we had with accelerators around Europe, where they came together in London to share with our students about what it means on joining accelerators. How can the students be part of accelerators and entrepreneurship ecosystem in London and Europe. So we do have this sort of engagement. In fact, for this MSc, I've just talked to one of the team that's going to be teaching in the course where we are designing sessions in Fab Labs and Green Labs around London. So that would be an interesting, add-on where, our session is more on real events that are actually happening in and across London. And this is why London is our campus. Yes. So let's move on to the programming talks.
Yes.
So, what our program is all about.
Definitely. Let's look at that.
Sorry, so I can't. Something wrong? Okay.
Okay, yes. So now we try to interface three different areas, which are entrepreneurship, innovation, and enterprise development. So by interfacing these different areas, what we try to focus on the entrepreneurial mindset. Okay, so the way entrepreneurs think and process information, entrepreneurial awareness, and entrepreneurial capabilities.
Yes, so that is our focus, yes.
Yes, and how do we do that? We try to develop a mindset, awareness, and capabilities through an entrepreneurial learning journey, okay, so that all students can build those features along with the learning journey throughout the different semesters of our program. So I'll give you some examples. So let's say that Fernanda, maybe 23-year-old from Mexico, maybe she gained a BA in arts and design, so she has no idea about entrepreneurship. She has no idea about business either, okay. She has a lot of creative ideas, okay, because of her creative background, but she has very little know-how of business, and definitely she's very young. She has not much working experience, but she dreams of creating her own design firm. And then let's say that Ahmed, a 24-year-old from Saudi Arabia, he has earned his BA in marketing management, and his family has got already a business in real estate. So you see a very different profile from Fernanda from Mexico. And so he has some general ideas of how to run a business, okay? But he doesn't really feel ready, to start working in his family business, and he searches for some ideas, to get some maybe some projects started up, as part of his family business, okay? Because he's aware that he will have a future in his family business. And then let's say that there's another profile, Deepak, 32-year-old from India. So Deepak has got a BA in engineering, in electronic engineering. He has been already working for 10 years, so he's already got some working experience, and thinks to becoming either an entrepreneurial individual in the organization he already works for, maybe develop some projects for his company, or perhaps engaging in small business consulting. So all of them, they have their own ideas and their own points of strength. And they are fed into our program. So they start the learning journey, and they go through term 1, 2, and 3, trying to exploring entrepreneurship, okay? Because none of them has already a preparation in business or in entrepreneurship, but they all have complementary characteristics and skills that can be used to become very successful entrepreneurs, be it an entrepreneur that starts his or her own business,
yes,
or being an entrepreneurial individual in a corporate environment, be in Microsoft or
yes,
IBM.
why not?
Why not?
Yes. But the most important thing, these are not the only one that our program is can be suitable for. Because if you are a person who just want to explore entrepreneurship, we do actually have students who just simply want to learn more about entrepreneurship, to know why and what is entrepreneurship. You are more than welcome to join us, because the journey that you go through by understanding how entrepreneurs work, you will then be able to know what it means by becoming an entrepreneur, and that is quite important as well. And we talk a lot about doing stuff, action, going out and having fun. But actually, our course is quite theoretically supported, very theoretically related.
And as our audience will see later on when we describe a bit more in detail, our learning methods, everything that we do is kind of pleasant and practical. So there's a fundamental pragmatism there, but it is rooted in sound research,
yes,
and there's a strong theoretical foundation for what we do.
Yes, and because of that, those who wants to explore entrepreneurship are most welcome, because there will be a lot of readings involved.
Definitely.
Yes.
So what are the different subjects that they're exposed to in their learning journey? Well, in term 1, we got entrepreneurial mindset and opportunity creation, innovation and design thinking, analytics for business and creativity, and innovation management. Whereas in term 2, they have
enterprise development, entrepreneurial marketing, and also entrepreneurship and innovation in shared economies.
Yes.
And then the final one is where the most important one, where we have an entrepreneurial project, where you will embark in your own individual project to support your aim. Basically, if you want to, if you're working with your family business and you want to have a new corporate development, or new project development for the family business, that could be your project.
Definitely. Generally, in master programs, there's a dissertation,
yes,
a final dissertation. And in our program, we don't have a formal dissertation.
No.
Our program is a bit special also for that. We have no exams. And there's
well, we don't believe in exams.
Yeah, and there's no dissertation. But instead of the dissertation, there's this entrepreneurial project, which is really personalized depending on the single individual's needs. And
then you will work very closely with your team coach and your mentors in order to expedite your journey on that element.
Yes.
And if you can see that this, on the previous slide, that we have these 3 fundamental focus. We have entrepreneurship, we have innovation, and we have enterprise development. And I received one question here, which I think is quite relevant. We answer it now from No Shaba Nas from Pakistan. Right. No Shaba said, I do not understand enterprise development. What does the term enterprise development mean? So we have these 3 elements: entrepreneurship, innovation, and enterprise development. And we know that, in order for you to innovate, you have to be creative. And not necessarily you can success without a proper innovation. So because of that, we focus our program into following entrepreneurship and innovation hand in hand, in order for you to come up with a good products and good services, and then be more entrepreneurial with lack of resources, with minimal resources. Now, why enterprise development is important? Enterprise development, well, you can start a business. You have a very brilliant idea. Would you be able to grow it? It's a different question.
Yes, and actually this is very important, because enterprise development, it doesn't just focus on growing an existing business. Could be that, okay, but could simply be starting up your business and running it in a lean way.
Yes.
And so it is important to be able to set up your business with a prospect of growth for the future.
Yeah.
And enterprise development is one of the focuses that we put on this program, so that you'll be able to create not only start up a business or create a business, but start up and create a business that is sustainable and can achieve sustainable growth in the future.
Yes. And statistics shows that majority of new startup fails within 3 years.
Yes.
So
a great deal of companies go bust within the first 3 years.
So,
and this is interesting. This is kind of globally.
Yes.
It doesn't happen just in advanced industrialized countries versus emerging markets, but this happens globally. Within 3 or 5 years, most of the enterprises are gone.
Yes, so because of that, we want to emphasize on the sustainability of what you have in mind, so it's also relevant for family businesses who want to grow the business. So it's not, when we talk about growing, it's not about suddenly, become big. Growing is a learning journey where, you have a sustainable way of growing, where you learn and depending on the status of what the company are, what to do next. Okay, and because of that, it's quite important. I hope we answer your question, but we're more than happy to, to explain it further if you have further questions. Yes.
So here we got in the slides a snapshot of our learning journey. Because during the different semesters, with the different subjects that the students study, what are they actually learning? What are the outputs? What are actually different phases of
that you have to go through.
They go through, and that they used to build, their idea.
Yes. So, if you want to join us and you are afraid that you don't have any idea, it doesn't matter because we don't expect you to have an idea. So, if you want to work in a company, you do so, because what we want to emphasize here is on the mindset. Once you have the correct mindset, you'll be able to spot opportunity. And this is where the exercise that we will do in class across London, just to make sure that you understand that London is our campus, across London, you try to spot opportunity, you generate ideas together with your team members, maybe you can explain how you bounce ideas with your team members.
Oh, that's very actually interesting.
Yeah, sure. Well, as we said sort of earlier, we don't have a sort of very traditional structure of lecturing, being lectured sort of theory. What we do is we have something called dialogue sessions. So as a team, we sit in a circle with the team coach, so we're all on the same level, and we basically discuss what we want to do. So, for example, if it's quite early on, we might want to start thinking of ideas for the business or sort of industries we want to explore. So we sort of one by one sort of do something called a check-in. So one by one we'll sort of say something we want to get out of that session, or if we have a question that we want to answer, we'll all answer the question. And then afterwards, from the check-in, we all go around and we just sort of bounce ideas, really, and sort of it's very fluid. It's not very it is structured, but it's actual dialogue session and the bouncing of ideas. It's all sort of coming from the team, really, and that's where the sort of team aspect of it comes from.
Yes, and that's where we build on the ideas, and we sometimes enhance it by have a outside visit to fab labs and green labs and so on. And this is where once you have identified your idea, you get the idea, you go through market analysis. We emphasize quite a lot on data, so
and understanding the environment.
And understanding the environment. So making decision is not about just simply I feel the entrepreneurial guts. I mean, that's very important. You're building your guts as an entrepreneur, but knowing how to read data, especially with so many information available on the internet nowadays, is very important. That is a skill set that you're gonna gain in this course. And most importantly, building as a team, because nowadays, even if you want to go into accelerators, the first requirement is who are in your team.
That's right.
And investors nowadays, if you don't have a strong team, it's really hard for you to have a solo, founder, founding this corporation or something like that. It's building a team, knowing how to work in a team is very important. Even though you're going to go out there and work in Google or work in an SMEs next on, you need to know how to work in a team. And the second semester works more on the development element, where you look into the competitor audit. You understand how the corporation work, how SMEs work. When you're doing this audit, this is where you then reflect upon how can you how can you make your project sustainable. Okay, and this is where you try to validate your idea, validate your concept, through real action. And during the second semester, this is where you finalize your project. You're trying to decide what the project that you want to do, and then you're going to move on into the third semester with the help of mentors and of course team coaches. Yeah. So how do we actually do that? If you want to join us because of the action only, and because you don't like reading, I think it's a misleading.
Yeah,
How much do you have to read, Brandon?
Lots. We have to read a lot. Like it is a very practical course. Like we do a lot of sort of practical things, but you sort of have to learn the theory first before you go out and do the practical. So but it's quite a jump, because you do have to read quite a lot and quite quickly. But there's a lot of sort of theory and a lot of reading. For example, one book we read is The Fifth Discipline. So it's quite a lengthy, big book and quite juicy. So it's the sort of practical stuff you do is sort of backed up by reading and theories and sort of the theories behind what you want to do.
And I would recommend, if those of you who wants to get a book to read during the summer, The Fifth Discipline is a good start.
A head start.
It's a good head start.
Something that's weird to point out, nevertheless, that although there's a lot of reading, the reading is mostly personalized.
Yes.
So sometimes it happens that all the students have to read some chapters or some papers or some different texts, but quite often reading is personalized. So we point out to the different students is mostly important according to what they want to do.
Yes.
So reading is really diversified from one student to another.
Yes, so that's why we highlight here the importance of having a learning contract. So once you join us, you will do a learning contract of what you want to achieve, and every semester you will renew that contract and see towards the end to what extent that you actually achieve that contract. So you are trying to push yourself, developing your mindset in order to be an independent learner and a team learner, and at the same time trying to adapt with all of other members and learn together. Coaching and mentoring is very important, and then because of that, we have several entrepreneur in residence that are going to help you in your journey. And there will be several business challenges, and if you join us within the first week, of course, just like Brandon said, we have lined out during for your induction day one business challenge that you have to do. Okay, that is the first business challenge even before you start the classes.
Hold on, something really exciting. There will be at some point in, I think, semester two, an international business challenge. So we take all the students abroad, to a different country in a different context, with a language you probably don't know.
Yes.
Meeting and maybe an exciting company you never heard of, and for 1 week you have to work on a project and bang, pitch to the company and solve their problem.
Yes.
Very challenging.
So the industrial engagement is really close. We will actually push you out of your comfort zone, but do not worry. Even though we push you out of your comfort zone, we are providing you a safe environment for you to experiment, to experience this journey.
That's right.
In a hope that you're going to learn faster. And that is the main important point that we want to make for you to understand this.
And then all the skills you learned then will be poured down into the entrepreneurial project in semester 2 and 3.
2 and 3, yeah.
So we got here some examples of learning. because learning can happen in very many different ways, not just by reading books or practicing. We try to integrate theory and practice whenever possible, and we do this by adopting different learning modes. Now, for instance, we got team learning, what Brandon was describing before, where you learn, through your peers, and the guidance of your teachers. We learn through real-life projects. They are continuous small projects or small challenges to take part to in the different modules. And then we try to learn some general theory and some more personalized theory through personalized reading, so that we can try to apply this theory to the different real-life projects, and we can reflect and learn through reflection in our team learning sessions.
Yes.
And we're going to hear some examples
of how we actually learn. So, yes. Brandon has talked about several events that the Entrepreneur Society that run. So you will be able to join these events. Like for example, if you look at the slide there, this is quite recent in March, where they have a live talks of how to make money online. So if you are interested on engaging on online businesses, for example, maybe to put your family business into online platform, you see. So these are several avenues where you could actually, work very closely with the networks around you. The assessment, I know very important that we know that there's no exam.
Because we said before, we don't believe in exams, okay? And so how do we assess students if there are no exams?
So basically, theory is very important, right? So, you need to read in order for you to be able to practice practically. And most entrepreneurs, if you read online, you just Google, all of them read tremendously.
Yeah, that's right. That something that we have to point out here is that in theory, it is important to gain an overall understanding of situations, but just pouring information in your head is not really useful. So we fly away from this heavy theoretical approach used by some universities. And so theory is important, but when can be applied.
Yes.
So the actual,
we make sure that you practice what you do, and because of that, you'll be able to understand what it means and how it works.
Right.
So the way we evaluate your assessment is through portfolio and learning contract and your learning diary. So it's all what we are interested on is about your own learning. You create your aim. We will push you to your boundaries, and through these business challenges and through critical evaluation report, we will then try to evaluate you through this assessment. And most importantly, sometimes the clients themselves will then help us to evaluate. For example, if your assessment is on pitching, then the client will then try to help us to evaluate to what extent that you'll be able to pitch effectively to achieve the target.
Yeah, and also for the assessment, learning is very important. We got here a very interesting question from Caio Lupio from Brazil.
Yes.
Asking, what would be the dynamics of the classes and teaching on this course? So what are the dynamics in class? And it is very important. You will learn how to be part of a team, and this will be reflected also in parts of the assessment.
Yes.
Although most of the assessment is individual,
Yeah, but there are several that quite.
Yes, it would be important to build a cohesive team, and all our activities from day one, or from actually day zero.
Day zero, yes.
Where our activities are created in such a way now that we create a team cohesion. So we will have plenty of sessions where we learn how to build a team. Because if you don't build a team, then you cannot progress further in this program.
Yes.
So we've got everything in place, and it is virtually impossible that you cannot build a team. Is it?
So maybe Brandon, you can actually explain about this Let's Start Up festival that we had out of the assessment.
Yeah, as you're sort of, as we said, don't need a business sort of idea to go onto the course. So you don't need one set in mind already. But this sort of festival that we did not too long ago was based for the students and their sort of entrepreneurial projects. So some students have their own businesses, like for example I have my own business, but then a lot of people on our course don't have their own, and they've sort of built entrepreneurial projects through the course. And what this festival was that our entire sort of learning platform, our social space was full of different stalls. So we had all the sort of students showcasing their businesses. So I was there with my business, some of my fellow colleagues on the course, they had a smoothie business. There was others who were there, it was a very, very sort of diverse sort of mix of businesses, and you were able to sort of go around and explore and ask questions really. It was sort of like a selling opportunity really, sort of showcasing your product mostly for the first time, or just sort of building your confidence.
Yeah, and then just bear in mind that during that session there was several investors came in as well, where you have to pitch. Did you actually pitch to them?
Yeah, so we had quite a few people. So there were a few people from like banks.
Yes.
There was
some angel investors.
Yeah, so they sort of come around and they sort of ask you questions, and it's quite daunting at first. Sort of just being approached. Yeah, they don't make it easy. But it's sort of invaluable skills really, because sometimes you will just get investors just pop in, or someone might just sort of see your idea and want to ask questions. So it's quite good to get into the practice of sort of kicking out a pitch there and then, because as an entrepreneur you just never know. It's very unstructured. It's very sort of it happens really.
Yeah, and this ability can make a difference between securing some capital or just
getting a job.
Business.
No, getting a job. Sometimes you just meet your
sometimes
boss
as well, yeah.
in the lift, and then you just need to pitch what you do, and then
Exactly, yeah. You may end up playing golf or having a swim, and you have some chit chat, and you land a job just because of your talking skills.
Yes, that's right. So that's why we try to encourage this kind of what we call hands-on and engagement with real investors, with real people.
So
yes.
What happens? After 1 year, Fernanda wanted to create a creative business. Ahmed wanted to be able to identify some projects to develop within his family business, and Deepak wanted to become more entrepreneurial and then consider perhaps working in a corporate environment, or maybe as a consultant for SMEs. 1 year later, they learn those skills that are necessary for them to achieve the goals and the dreams. So Fernanda, after 1 year, is now confident to seek funds, and she's able to launch a creative firm. Ahmed, after 1 year, with skills that has learned, is now ready to develop a project to grow his family business and develop further the enterprise. And Deepak now is a serial networker, goes around from event to event, finding some clients and consulting now small, medium-sized enterprises, owners.
So this is a sort of confidence level that we're trying to mindset, that you can actually do what you want. Okay? So even if you do with us, you could actually then pursue a PhD if you want. Definitely,
yes, definitely. So, a big number, 30. What is this number?
Oh wow, the special and magic number.
Well, now what happens that in a lot of master programs in many universities, they get a huge number of students. It is not unlikely to find master programs in 120, 140, 180 students.
Yes, and where you don't really have this close engagement with your lecturers, with your tutors, and with your mentors.
Yeah, well, they mostly don't have mentors.
No, they don't have mentors.
So it's
program. Yes.
But yes, we try to limit our students to a very small number, so that we can have a constant personal engagement. And because our resources are also limited, we have a certain number of mentors, we have a certain number of entrepreneurs in residence, and so on. We have a certain number of coaches.
Yes.
So we wanted to make sure that we can provide the level of care for the student, that level of support that students really deserve if they want to develop their entrepreneurial skills. So you can't really have 200 people in a class and hope that they will develop their skills as entrepreneurs. This is just not going to happen.
Yes. So this is the number that we're going to accept, right?
Yes.
And we hope that
try to limit to that.
We try to limit to that. I mean, it's break our heart to do that, but
there's a high demand, and it's very difficult, to reject applications, but we think it's for the best, because we really wanted those ones that are actually accessing the program are really supported in full.
So if you're really interested, we would actually recommend you to make a payment, at least a deposit, right?
To secure your place.
Yes, secure the space, because just to let you know that this is the maximum that we can accept. We cannot accept more than this.
Yes.
So how do we apply then if you are interested? Apologies about the technology.
Yes, okay, so what happens here is that if you're interested in this program and you're thinking to enroll, now you can apply by UK Pass, okay? You can Google that, UK Pass, so you will have to create your own account and put your own details, and the application will be forwarded to our university. Now, if you want more information about the program, you can contact our team, Cassia and Joe, and you can drop an email also to admissions. Now, just to introduce to you Cassia and Joe, guys, would you like to come from out of the field and say hi to our students so they know who you are when they drop you emails?
Yes, so this is Cassia, that's Joe. So when you communicate through email, they are the one who's going to reply and try to answer your questions.
Yes, they're our super efficient, super experts, and you will have great support from them.
Yes. So we have one question here as well.
Yes.
Do you want to answer the question here first? Well, it's from Joseph Naga from Kenya.
Yes.
Is it an online course? Well, this is not an online course because of the very close engagement that we have. We are not able to do it online. So it is actually where you have to come here, be with us, engage with them in the team, and then have fun with us together.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yes. Here we have an interesting question from Sean Manuel Giatuyi from Nigeria. When am I going to get my admission letter? What you have to do, Sean, you have to contact our organizers, Cassia and Joe, and you have to quote your application ID or your UK Pass reference number, and we can check the current status of your application. Okay, so you can email Cassie and Joe at the email addresses that we provided you with before. And would you like we sum up our session?
Okay, then we sum up our session here. So as you know that there's 3 ethos behind our program. We focus on innovation, innovative, experiential, and engaging and exciting. So if you join us, we will definitely give you this experience that you will never forget. We can't guarantee that you will have enough sleep, but I don't think so you need one at that moment with so much fun that you have.
Yeah, it's so exciting anyway.
Yes.
So now, is this program right for you or not? This program is right for you if you are thinking perhaps in the future at some point, not necessarily now, but maybe in the future or even now, if you want to start your own business. Whether you got company, a family business, and you want to perhaps develop some projects within your business and perhaps help your parents to grow their business. Or if you want to explore business consulting for small and medium-sized enterprises and an option. Or simply, if you want to explore the concept of entrepreneurship and innovation as a personal journey, and even if you have no clue about entrepreneurship and no idea about entrepreneurship or innovation, do not worry, because we start from scratch, and you learn everything through the creation of awareness, the building up entrepreneurial mindsets, and being able to spot opportunities. So that's pretty much everything. I do not know whether we got any other questions.
Yeah, I think there are more on the list there. We have gone through about scholarships from Stephen Gerrard. Now, I don't know if I'm in the board already, but just for people that are saying. Now, we are going to publish our scholarships portfolio for the 2018-19 academic year around autumn time. So, yeah, so please keep checking our website and an email you get from the university announcing this. Scholarships for September 2017 closed in May, so, and we can come to the late application. So yes, that's the answer to your question, Stephen.
Yeah, and then here there's a question from Divyansh Madan from India. I just graduated and I have a plan. What would be the best time for me to join the entrepreneurship program? Well,
if you already have a business plan, why not joining us and then see whether we can try to materialize the plan?
That's right. Yeah, you can try to develop your business plan and implement it during your program.
Yeah.
Now, when should you join? As soon as possible, because we have a really high demand for this program, and we unfortunately reject a lot of applications.
So it doesn't matter if you don't have any experience, because we are what
That's right.
What the most important thing is your willingness to learn, right? And even though you don't have a business plan, we are more than happy to help you. Even if you have a business plan, this is where we could actually enhance it further. And I just maybe want to share with you. I mean, that's the next slide. That's quite right, can you see the last slide there? Yeah, so this is something that we're going to do during one of the modules or across the program. If you can see the picture there, is actually one of our team member, one of the course team, Dr. Bali Lalioti, where she actually run this sort of workshop or program for businesses, for big corporation, and for executive training. So you're gonna have access to this kind of experience, following design thinking method, following innovation engagement, for using different kind of technologies. We have in mind for you to explore the use of VR, for example, or augmented reality, to enhance your innovation, to bring your business plan to the next level. So these are interesting stuff that you're going to get to do with this, because our team of, our teaching team is really experienced. Those who are teaching entrepreneurship run their own business before. Those who are actually teaching innovation have patents, they actually design and they follow through, they have the experience, and now is a time for them to share it with you.
Yes, and all that grounded in research, because most of the members, teaching members of this program are active researchers and publish in internationally excellent research venues.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a strong foundation coming from academic theory as well.
Yes.
So I think that was all.
Is there any other?
Another question? Well, yes, there's Jay Kumar from India saying that I'm interested to know how I should proceed to make my organization more efficient and professional. Jay will be happy to receive your application, and once you start the program, we'll go through all the details with you, and we will adapt all the skills, to your very specific case.
Yeah. So as just to recap, that our focus in this MSc is entrepreneurship, innovation, and enterprise development. So your question is about making more efficient and professional. What lies under through all the 3 areas.
Yes, but mostly enterprise development and perhaps innovation as well.
Yes.
Depending on the business, because unfortunately, from your question, we can't really deduce, what type of business you're talking about, or what type of market.
We would actually recommend you to have a look at our website and have a look
Definitely,
at the summary of the modules that you're going to go through. And some of that, there are some hints of what it is all about. And if you actually have applied to us and, I think, or wanting to know more about the modules, we are more than happy to accept emails from all of you, because I think we have received several emails from potential students who wanted to know more about reading lists, who wanted to know more what they can read during the summer. I really like that because they are very enthusiastic to come to join the program.
People.
Very proactive people. And we are more than happy to share with you the whole program so that you know what to expect. When comes September 2017.
Jolly good. Okay, so if we don't have any more questions, we can thank our audience for attending this webinar. Again.
But I think before we do that, we haven't given him an opportunity to share to the audience about his business. I think it's...
Oh, that's right.
You should actually share about your business. Maybe they could actually look at into your website and then
So, as I mentioned, I have my own business. So there was only a few of us who had our own businesses coming into the sort of course. But my business is mainly based in technology. So I'm quite a tech enthusiast. So I've developed my own sort of apps and sort of products, and I sell them through a website. So the company is Serenity Co. That's the company, and when I joined the course, I wanted to join because I wanted to, one, expand my business. I wanted to sort of explore new avenues because it was just me on my own, so I wanted to sort of build a team. So that's why when I realized entrepreneurship was so team-based, that's why I thought that would be perfect for me personally. So so that's basically my sort of business.
How did you develop that? When you came in, did you actually have that idea earlier on, or?
Well, I had the idea and sort of doing the sort of building sort of foundations of my business and sort of the name and what I wanted to do a couple of years before I started the course. But in terms of sort of gaining revenue and actually building the business as it is today, I only really did a couple of months before university because of college and just other sort of things. So I couldn't really put my time into my business. So again, that was another reason why I wanted to come to this course, because it was so practical and I could sort of learn the theory that I needed to learn in order to actually sort of make my business develop and make it, put the sort of foundations in place to actually sort of grow it and take it out into the world, really.
Exciting. I know that you also run an event before.
So as part of that sort of building my business, I wanted to sort of pursue something else as well. So I quite like public speaking, and I quite like sort of doing events and stuff. So I thought I'd merge what I knew about technology and sort of put it with public speaking. So I did an event about how technology impacts the fashion industry. And I did that inside the uni. So again, it offers so many opportunities for you to sort of do different things and sort of explore new ventures that you want to do. And so it's really successful, and I'm planning another one when we return, all about sort of recent stuff about sort of cyber hacking and things like that. So no, it's very exciting time.
So it's quite interesting that you see when we do this learning contract, this is where you explore about what you really like, what is your skill set that you can actually leverage. And I'm just assuming that you got that idea to merge, what you really like to do and what you want to do together, and then through the learning contract that you have to do.
The learning contract, it was quite difficult to write at first because I've never answered sort of those sort of questions. So, but sort of the learning contract does sort of force you to really think about what you want to do and where you want to go. So so through the learning contract, I found out what I really, really like doing, what I sort of done before, what I wanted to sort of go into. And you're right, that's sort of how I sort of merged them together, really. I don't think I would have Well, if I did sort of merge it on my own, I think it would take a lot longer without the learning contract than if I did the learning contract and sort of found out there and then, really.
Good. Yeah, then that's what you need to do then when you first join us, is we're going to sit together and do a learning contract.
Definitely, yeah, I definitely recommend it.
Yes. So, any more questions? No, apparently we do not have any more questions.
Yeah, unless there are any more from the registration stage.
Most of it actually we have answered.
Yes, I think they've been all covered.
Yes, yes. So how much fee is payable for the course? Well, yeah, it is actually £16,000 for, you know, for both the EU and also the international students. So we do not have any differentiation between EU and international students.
That's right.
Any other things you want to add on before we move on?
Yes.
Oh, before we say goodbye.
Yes. The last thing to say is that, you know, if you want, again, if you want more information about this program, or if you want to enroll, you know, contact our administration as indicated before, or set up your account on UK Pass.
Yes.
And hopefully we will see you here, you know, in September.
Yes, please apply.
Thank you very much for your audience to attend this webinar. I want to thank Joe and Kasia for the support, and Noel and Brandon for attending this event.
Thank you, Lucas.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.